window sign in downtown Detroit on Woodward Avenue proclaims Detroit is the new black. The next window has the world-famous quote by Henry Ford where he's talking about his Model Ts. You can have any color you want as long as it's black. Who can forget that quote? At ground zero, not to exaggerate too much, of the Industrial Revolution, one of the aspects of the Industrial Revolution, because I'm looking at the home of the Model T. Here at this Highland Park plant, Henry Ford, in 1913 began the mass production of automobiles on a moving assembly line. By 1915, Ford built 1 million Model Ts. In 1925, over 9,000 were assembled in a single day. Mass production soon moved from here to all phases of American industry and set the pattern of abundance for the 20th century living. Behind me, the Highland Park Ford Motor Company assembly plant. And here is a photo of those historical Model Ts, those black Model Ts coming off the assembly line in Detroit. Incredibly, by 1915, 1 million of the Tin Lizzies had been built right here. A 2010 census showed that Detroit's population was 82.7% black or African American. And by the way, February is Black History Month in the United States. Stay with me on this one, but there is a connection between the assembly lines of Detroit and the black population. Let me explain. Driven by openly hostile living conditions in the southern states, African Americans moved to northern cities by the millions, and Detroit was one of the major destinations because it had something the South did not have, and that was jobs on the assembly lines. Fleeing the harsh repression and poverty of the Jim Crow South, migrants came to cities like Detroit. Detroit was particularly attractive. Automobile manufacturing offered good wages for entry-level jobs. The movement that was known as the Great Migration began about 1915 and extended in 2 waves through the 1960s. That sounds good enough except for 1 or 2 things, and that was that blacks were not allowed to live where they wanted. They were confined to an area of what is now downtown Detroit that was known as Black Bottom and Paradise Valley.
Now, this is very important, especially this Savior's Day. In the Nation of Islam started here in Detroit. Brothers don't want to recognize a whole lot of things about Detroit. And Detroit, the black brothers and sisters here are fighters. They're hard-headed fighters. Because they ain't caught on yet they haven't caught on yet that the majority population is black. That's democracy. Means majority rules. So they leave it up to the suburbanites, which is mainly white, to come into the city and run the city. They don't, we had a role model, which was Mayor Young. Mayor Young was the baddest black mayor in the history of the United States. We have one young brother, one young mayor, who was conscious, but he still was listening to them Caucasians. Now he's in jail doing so much time that by the time he get out, he's going to be an old man. Now, they got a Caucasian mayor, and he's still keeping up the policies of those Caucasians before him. So it ain't nobody's fault but y'all, because y'all want to trust the Caucasian. Remember this. Never trust a pale face and a smile. You see what happened to our brother the Indian. But you still can beat this. Now, I'm going to get on into this right quick before time goes away, to give you further insight on what you need to do. We're going to have that remedy coming up maybe in a couple of videos from now. But check this out.
You see neighborhood after neighborhood that's been left behind. When they say come back, they're talking about the 7.2 miles. If you look at the census tracts, some of the wealthiest census tracts within the city of Detroit. They're talking about billionaires Dan Gilbert and the Illich family who continue to take tax giveaways from our school aid fund while literally down the street for their hockey stadium, for their for-profit development, while down the street we have schools that don't have clean drinking water. We have schools that literally are closing down, these neighborhood schools that have been part of our anchors within our neighborhoods. So it is hard because I've actually had a senior citizen tell me, Detroit's coming back from where? And why are they continually talking about only the downtown area and the surrounding kind of areas there? It's like an island, because anything beyond that island is real, true poverty. And people from those that can't afford their water bills, that literally one day their water gets shut off, the next day their children are being taken away from them. I mean, because they're saying, oh, they're negligent. But this is the same amount of money they're using for the for-profit industry that's even there for foster care. They won't even use it to help a woman get her water put back on. I mean, the hardship that we see our families facing, these are working class families, and even the young, the mother of 7, Sonia, she was saying that we're the ones out there in the restaurants that you don't look up and look at. We're the ones that are among you and your neighbors that have been part of the city of Detroit for so long, but they feel very truly left behind. Not only with what's going on with property taxes, but what's going on, the devastation of our water shutoffs, the devastation of what's happened to our education system and so forth, the disinvestment in our neighborhoods that are surrounding downtown Detroit is extremely put such a tremendous hardship on so many of our families. And
Now that problem right there is in a whole lot of cities where it's heavily populated by black people. Harlem, New York, urban renewal. Y'all know the story, So they want you to get out and vote. Y'all gonna think that y'all voting gonna change the situation. You gonna be taxed more. Money's going to crash, but you're going to pick up a new money, a new type money. The paper dollars is on its way out. Y'all know this to be true. Y'all young people, y'all too busy in the clubs, getting your drink on, getting your freak on, getting high, listening to these entertainers, loving these sports figures. They don't have a clue what time it is. The entertainers don't have a clue what time it is. Our warriors are locked up in jail, which are the young gangs. They killing up each other. They don't know what to do. When you slow, you blow, man. Y'all got to catch up. Y'all think y'all think a cat like me is lame, Oh man, that's a lame dude right there, No man, I done been through what y'all done been through. A couple more years, I been and hit that 100 mark. Y'all still babies, man. Wet behind the ears, wet nose. See, but I paid attention, man. I observed the Caucasians game. You know, and I'm trying to wake y'all up to it. Trying to pull your coat. The devil ain't no joke. Half our people, man, so messed up, especially your church goers. They think that money, by having a whole lot of paper, gonna get them out of this. Nah, man, that ain't gonna do it. So look, we're gonna come back and we're gonna give you a little bit of what they doing, and then we're gonna give you a little bit of what we should do. It's Black Light.